Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So on our today's project we're going to be removing these old stick-on floor tiles, and then we're going to put on an epoxy floor coating, making it look like from this to this. So stick around and see how I do it.
Okay, so the tools I'm going to be using for the project is going to be a bent angle scraper and also a razor blade scraper in case if this doesn't get it done. And then to remove the glue I'm going to be using this floor adhesive remover. And when it comes to safety gear, you may want to use some safety glasses, a pair of knee pads, or if you have it available to you, you could use a short stool, and also maybe some gloves.
Okay, so to get started, we can use our heat gun to help make the glue easier to remove. And now we can take our scraper and we can go up under the edge of the tile here and help pry it loose from the floor. Now you may not have to use the heat gun all the time, but it can help make the job a little bit easier, especially if the tiles are a little bit stuck on there pretty good. And forgot my gloves. Got busy setting the camera up and got to put our gloves on. Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, just take your scrape blade, just pry up underneath it. And it will eventually come off the floor. And there you go, that's one tile down, and I think there's about a dozen or couple dozen tiles in here or so to remove, so let's get it cracking. Now at this point we're having it's a little bit difficult right now, so we're trying to get the towel up out from underneath the commode right here. Now for this project, I'm not really wanting to remove the toilet or the sink or anything like that. So it'd be easier if you had the time and as part of your project plan, you could remove the toilet. But I gotta say I'm lazy. I'm trying to save some time or effort, while at the same time increasing how hard the project is.
Yeah, and this right here is one reason I don't really care much for these stick-on tiles in the bathroom, and you can see how these tiles are. We had to put these newer tiles over the old ones, and you can see over the years that crap has gotten between them, and quite frankly it smells absolutely horrible. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out right here about one of the reasons why I'm wanting to do this.
There we have it. The last piece of tile off the floor. Okay, so now let's move on to scraping the rest of the glue off the floor. After we sweep up a little bit, get all the big pieces and loose pieces off here, then we'll sweep again and put down some of the floor adhesive remover down. Okay, so now we're going to be using our floor adhesive. Now, anytime you're working with chemicals, it's very important that you follow the safety precautions and also make sure you have any recommended safety gear. Like for instance, this recommends some chemical splash-proof goggles and chemical resistant gloves. So now we're going to put this out on the floor. We'll start in the corners and work our way out, and we'll roll it with our roller right here.
Okay, so now we just gotta wait for that to dry. I think it says it takes about 1 to 3 hours, and then you test it by just trying to scrape that with a putty knife. So we'll be back at this in a couple hours then. Okay, now at this point we're gonna scrape the adhesive remover off. And I kind of think I didn't put a thick enough layer on here because I think it was supposed to have stayed wet the whole time. But there really wasn't a whole lot of glue on here, so I don't think it will really matter too much. Okay, so after scraping the floor up, this is all we got off of there. So now we're going to go over the floor with some degreaser. Okay, now I wasn't originally planning on it, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove the toilet and the sink before I roll down the epoxy floor. Because as you can see, the toilet sort of wobbles a little bit, and plus we need to replace the bolts down there, and there's a valve that needs replaced from the supply line to the toilet anyway, so. Okay, so now that the floor is prepped and ready to paint, I'm going to be using this Rust-Oleum Rock Solid Metallic Floor Coating Kit. In this kit it comes with our roller that we need, our bag of paint, which I'll show you how it's supposed to be mixed up. And it also does come with some concrete etch, but according to instructions for this particular type of floor, it says it's not required. So that's what all comes with the kit, and this is going to be a gunmetal high gloss. Is the color. And then I bought these separately. It's some Rust-Oleum decorative color chips. As you can see, it's sort of white, black, and blue and gray. So we're going to add that on top of the coating. Okay, so to mix the epoxy, there's a part A and part B in this pouch. So you start by shaking the bag back and forth and also squeezing the edges of the pouch. And then you combine the two parts by rolling it up from part A to the part B side as shown, and this will break the seal in the middle of it and it'll mix both ends. And then you continue mixing by squeezing the edges and the corners of the pouch and shaking it back and forth. And you do this for about 3 minutes. Then you cut the pouch open and you pour us about 2-inch ribbons from the edge of the wall. Then you use the roller to roll it over in M and W shaped patterns. And then you finish it by doing a circle type motion. Then we'll put the flakes down on top of it. And then we repeat this process for the rest of the floor.
Okay, so now at this point in the project, we got the floor coating, it's down, it's fully cured, and now I'm going to add a clear top coat to it to finish it off.
In the clear top coat, it has the exact same instructions as the base epoxy coat.
Alright, so it's been a few days now and our clear coat has had time to fully cure and set up. So to finish off this project, we're going to do some painting here. Got some Kiehl's tribute paint in the Coast Drive color. Then while we still have the toilet and the sink out, we're going to go ahead and go paint this wall over here. And then also put the baseboards down. So we'll get on to this part of the project.
And with this last piece, we can now check out our finished results.
Okay, so our epoxy floor bathroom remake is done. It took a little while, but I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not perfect. There's a few little spots that it like bubbled up some, which I'm not exactly sure why that happened. But this is the first time I've ever used epoxy for flooring, so if you have any experience, be sure to let me know in the comments. So now, was it worth it? But for me personally, I like it pretty good, so I would say yes. Yeah, so if I had to do this project all over again, I probably would put a thicker coat of epoxy down and go a bit lighter on the flakes. And also, I probably would have went ahead and removed the toilet and the sink and the door as well. That would also have helped make the project a lot quicker and easier, I think, overall. I mean, was it as cheap as using just sticky floor tiles? No, it cost probably altogether around about $200, I think. I don't know, I'll list the exact price right here on the screen because I'll have to go back and do the math on that. So yeah. So we got new baseboards and the walls painted to sort of match with the flooring a little bit better, I think. So we're not completely done with the bathroom just yet. The next video we're going to install some floating shelves and a few other little knickknacks here and there to help finish everything off. So subscribe to be up to date on that. Well, until next time, later.